It's Halloween season, so to celebrate, this video is a compilation of my I could easily survive horror videos, where I go over horror movies and horror games that I could easily survive. So sit back, enjoy, and most importantly, Happy Halloween! You know, horror movies were a big part of my childhood, and not because I used to watch them. On the contrary, I used to avoid them at all costs. The jump scares, the gruesome kills, all of it terrifying to me. I was a scaredy cat, I'm not gonna lie. But I think what scared me the most back then was the fact that if I was in any of those movies, I would not survive. What is a 6-year-old gonna do against this? But now, as a full-fledged, grown 21-year-old, I actually believe I have a pretty good shot against most of these horror movies. And yeah, I said most of them. I'll be going over a few of the horror movies that I can survive easily, giving you my strategy and my thought process in the process, and some of the ones that I can't. First one up on the hit list is Ghostface from Scream. What's that? This dude is a pretty standard horror villain on the surface. A masked man with a knife, no superhuman abilities, and can be taken out the same way any other regular human can be taken out. A gun. Should be an easy one to deal with. But whoa. Slow your roll. What makes Ghostface such a special and popular killer is one, the whole "what's your favorite scary movie" thing, and two, he doesn't work alone. Ghostface is 2, sometimes even 3 people working together. That's usually the whole twist with his movies. Ghostface sometimes ends up being the love interest's parent, the love interest's dog. It could be anyone. You never know with this dude. And that means we have multiple killers on the loose, ladies and gentlemen, making this situation at the very least a 2v1 against me. What am I gonna do? Well, I could go one route and say these guys usually target specific people. So as long as I'm not near Sidney Prescott, Melissa Barrera, or Jenna Ortega, I should be good, but that would be boring. So let's just say Ghostface decides to target me because, I don't know, I accidentally ran over Ghost Dog's mama. What do I do then? And my answer to that might surprise you. They're literally human, minus him. Like, yeah, it's a 2 or 3v1, but if you watch any of these movies, you know against these guys, that's more than winnable. Like I said a second ago, they're gun level, and it doesn't help that they don't often make the smart decision. They always start off intimidating, a killer you could actually be afraid of. But as we get closer and closer to the identity reveal, it's like they're losing brain cells. They let certain people live, they start becoming clumsier. This is exactly why I told you to stay off that galaxy gas. And the dumbest thing they do is that since it's a personal beef, they always do this huge dramatic reveal to torment the victim or whatever. That's right, Derek. It was us. It was us all along. Shut up. These dudes are just an aggressive scam likely call. I ain't sweating it. Unless they pull a JJK and jump me, I'm winning. So this movie's main villain is Freddy Krueger. And honestly, I wasn't that scared of Freddy growing up. Even though his powers are crazy, he just made me not want to eat pizza while watching his movies. His whole thing is killing people in their dreams, so you can imagine how difficult that would be to survive. Leading the victims in his movie to do crazy things to avoid dying to him. Pictures of coffee, caffeine pills, and all of it, of course, eventually fails. Most of the time, they end up developing this buddy system where they have to watch each other sleep. And honestly, that's the dumbest thing they could do. Because what if the other one falls asleep? You're done. Draw 2 for your mistake, buddy. They had it all wrong. I have 2 solutions for Freddy. First, the more difficult of the 2 is move out of Ohio, which when I say it out loud is not that hard because who wants to live in Ohio? And 2, the easier one in my opinion, which they should have been doing since the very first movie, I just simply won't sleep. I mean, the only way he could get me is if I'm dreaming. And if I just don't sleep, then he can never get me. It's simple. I don't sleep regardless, so if my life's on the line, I'ma definitely not sleep. Even if I somehow fall asleep, my dreams be weird as hell anyway, so he won't even know what the hell is going on. And worst case scenario, if Freddy's giving me the works in the dream world, I'll just pull him out of my dream and have someone with a shotgun there waiting for him. And if a shotgun don't work, then a shotgun with holy water. He not beating that. Now this one is the one that you guys are gonna underestimate. He's this hideous little leprechaun who has magical powers, and he'll come after you if you touch his gold. He has the ability to teleport, grant wishes, regenerate, and impersonate people's voices. And also, guns don't work on him. Like, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. His weaknesses vary from movie to movie. Sometimes it's a 4-leaf clover, sometimes it's a piece of metal, and sometimes it's a medallion. And you're probably thinking, just avoid the gold. Don't be silly. I need the gold, but I'm still surviving though. So here's the plan. I will take the gold back home after stumbling upon it in the woods, then place it into the basement that I do not have and put it in a safe. The leprechaun will obviously come by asking, "Where's me gold?" Then I'll kick him into the safe and lock him in the safe. Now you're probably like, he's gonna break out. He has powers. Let me get to that, okay? That's not true, because before I went home, I picked up a 4-leaf clover that I found in the woods and I put it on top of the safe. Now I have a leprechaun in my possession and I can
could get him to grant any wish I want. I bet y'all forgot about that. He could grant wishes.
It's literally that easy. Now I survived. Y'all cannot tell me that's not a W strategy. Go ahead, I got my ear to the mic. Say it, say it. Only thing is I gotta own that basement for the rest of my life, because if somebody moves that 4-leaf clover, it's done for me. Pennywise, the killer demon clown. Now, a lot of y'all probably know this guy, and y'all know, unlike Ghostface, Pennywise has powers. He has the ability to create illusions, shapeshift, regenerate, and much, much more. He pretty much got the reality stone. And all this stuff on paper makes Pennywise an extremely formidable and difficult to beat opponent. Like, after watching him lose at the end of part 1 and seeing him come back at the start of part 2, you would think this dude is unbeatable. But we were wrong. We were all wrong, because all these reality warping powers Pennywise has all rely on one thing: fear. That's right. You gotta be scared of this dude for him to really do anything to you. So if you're not afraid of him, this dude is practically useless. I was never one to be afraid of clowns. Like, no joke, I've played Roblox games that scared me more. I just always thought they were too silly looking to be scared of them. And that's no diss at someone who scared them. Trust me, I got some strange things that scare me too. I'm just saying. Use a bit. Closest I ever got to being scared of them was those 2016 clown sightings that were happening. And even then, why I'm gonna be scared of a clown staring at me from a distance? What he gonna do? Throw a freaking pie at me? So if you put me against a clown that relies on me being scared of him, that's easy pickings. I mean, bro, you can practically bully this dude to death. A few mean words and he's out for the count. I grew up playing Prime COD, Prime 2K, and Prime GTA. So if it means survival, just know my slur bag run deep. No. Now I'm going to be very honest. I know it's the thumbnail, but I am not surviving a single Saw movie. I'm sorry.
Literally every trap is almost impossible to survive. And what annoys me the most is that the creator of the games, he really thinks he's being fair. He thinks he's helping people appreciate life. That's that pain ideology. No, bro, you're just a murderer.
Only a handful of people survive your movies.
Out of like 100 people, and I would know. I watch kill count.
I look at how unfair some of these traps are. The chain trap from Saw 3, bro, how is he gonna rip that out his lip? His jaw would come out. The carousel trap from Saw 6, they literally did not have a choice in the matter. It was up to one person to determine if they lived or not. Even the first trap that we saw in Saw 1, which was the bathroom trap, was unfair. If Jigsaw's whole ideology is everyone deserves a chance, and how come in the bathroom trap only one of them could survive? This man's a phony. I wouldn't be able to survive. I'm sorry.
What would I even be in there for? Jaywalking, tax evasion, arson? None of that is a big deal.
The only trap I could really see myself surviving is maybe the handbox trap from Saw 2. If you look behind her, there's a chair. I would use that chair to break the glass and take the syringe. Boom, 1000 IQ.
We know the villain of this movie, Michael Myers. You see, at first, I wasn't even gonna put him as a villain I could beat, cause I thought he was immortal. Especially after what happened in Halloween Kills, he got jumped by the whole town. This woman even had a clothing iron? But then Halloween Ends came out.
And that's when I realized Michael Myers is a fraud. He's just an extremely, and I mean extremely, durable old man.
He's not immortal.
He gets whooped by a random kid from the suburbs.
Isn't this Michael Myers the same dude who took out a whole team of firefighters by himself? I'm not gonna act like the kid Corey killed him or something, but still, getting beat up by a kid, that's crazy.
So yeah, as long as it's not the Halloween Kills Michael Myers or the 2007 Michael Myers, that dude was ruthless.
I think I have a pretty good shot against Michael. Honestly, just set up a venue, bring Lori, bring the whole town of Haddonfield, and they can all just watch me beat up the boogeyman.
Before anyone says it, no, he does not use candy to kill people. I know, it would have been cool, I know. Candyman is this vengeful spirit with a hook for a hand that you can summon after saying his name 5 times in the mirror. So he's sort of like Bloody Mary, but instead of his name being Mary, he's a black dude. So there's gonna be people scared of him, ghost or not. Now what makes Candyman so scary is a combination of things. First of all, the hook for the hand. On top of that, he can teleport, control bees, control minds, has an insanely deep voice, and scariest of all, he dwells in the projects. Now, I don't know if everyone watching this has a full understanding of how bad projects could get, especially here in the East Coast, but I do. In my city, there's plenty of projects. Now, I'm not from the projects. I live by a project, but I ain't from there. But what I can tell you from years of living near and watching and studying these things is that the projects are absolutely horrible. Am I lying though? Am I lying? Like, it may sound like I'm being rude, but even people from the projects don't want to be from the projects. This is common knowledge. The conditions of those things are damn near inhospitable. Y'all like that word? Y'all like that word? And the projects in this movie are worse than the ones that I've been in. They only add to the horror. These projects look like they got people taking dumps in the stairwell, crackheads trying to make $1 in the elevator. The ones I've been in only got piss in the stairwells and a few crackheads. There's levels to this. So when you add this environment to his already insane array of abilities, especially the controlling bees thing, that's bad. This one seems rather difficult, but I assure you, this one is easy. I'ma just do what I did when I was a kid and people told me to say his name. Nothing. I ain't saying the dude's name 5 times in a mirror. I might do 4 just to pump fake it, but why would I ever do 5? That's ridiculous. Who in their right mind hears an urban legend about summoning a man with a hook for a hand who comes after you and thinks, well, I should probably do that. You gotta be off your rocker. I'm not saying the name. And I would love to do a scenario where I did summon him, but I just don't see myself surviving in that case. Cause it's not like you have to be from the projects for him to come after you. You could be in Cancun, but if you say this dude's name in the mirror 5 times, he's teleporting straight to you. You just got him a free vacation. I'm not messing with this dude, I'm sorry. He's just too dangerous. There was literally a scene in the movie where this little kid went to go use the bathroom, and this dude, I don't even want to say, this dude Candyman hibachi this little kid's Johnson. What was the reason? I'm good. Candyman is easy if I don't summon him. If I do summon him, I'm cooked. Like, really, the only advantage you got against this dude is being a snow bunny. And I don't know if I could do that right now. Now, I could be a little smarty pants and say the original Friday the 13th is just Jason's mom, so I could just pull out a shotgun. But obviously, y'all want to hear about our boy Jason Voorhees. And Jason is this 6'5" man who's super durable. He has insane hunting skills, can crush someone's head with his bare hands, and unlike Michael, he runs. Like, yeah, he'll walk towards you to scare you for a while, but if he really just wants to kill you, he's gonna chase after you. And really, he doesn't have to chase, because Jason can low-key teleport. So what are we supposed to do? Well, I got you. You see, I've played hours of the Friday the 13th video game, and I consider that game pretty accurate to the movies. I know all of Jason's weaknesses. If I was at Camp Crystal Lake, I have the firecrackers, the flare gun, and the shotgun on deck. And even if I somehow die, I'll just come back as Tommy Jarvis. And after that, it's easy wins. Even if all that failed, I'll just escape like I do all the time in the game. The easiest method, just drive out. Just hop in, start the car, I can't drive. Yeah, I'll just shoot his mom. You see, I never watched this movie, but I did watch plenty of The Office and I played Fortnite, so I'm pretty sure I could figure it out. So here's the plan. I would have called out of work. I know, easy. Okay, I'll be realistic. If I was trapped in the office building with 80-something people and we were forced to do a battle royale, would I survive? Probably not. I don't think I could stab someone with a pair of scissors. I'm sorry. But I read up online, apparently the building had an armory for some reason. If there's an armory, then there's guns. And where there's guns, there's room for an American. This movie took place in Colombia, so they don't know anything about shooting guns. Me though, from the United States of America, I know everything about guns. I sleep with a shotgun under my pillow, a Glock in my sock, and an AK in my PJs. So when it comes to shooting people, yeah, I got it. I'm surviving Belko experiment easily. In this one, we follow a crew of scientists aboard a spaceship who, after going to an unfamiliar planet, are infiltrated by an alien. And this ain't your usual alien. This isn't your gardener or barber or DoorDash driver. It's not Marvin or Roger from American Dad. No, these things are dark, scary, and contribute nothing to the economy. The Xenomorph, standing at 7 to 8 feet tall, bloodthirsty, insanely intelligent, extremely durable, and it got a mouth in its mouth. This thing is the real deal, and I'm stuck on a spaceship with it, with no place to run, barely any places to hide, and again, in the middle of space. Looks like I'm in a bit of a pickle now, doesn't it? But I just watched Alien Romulus the other day, and I learned a lot about our alien buddies over here. So while it may look like I'm in a tough situation, don't worry, Joe. I got this. So from what we know about these xenomorphs is that they're nearly impossible to hurt. Things like regular guns and tools don't work on them at all. Something like a flamethrower could work for a little, but not enough to actually put the dude down. And while things like high caliber guns and explosives do work, I forgot to mention the xenomorphs are like Magic Johnson in certain aspects. And it ain't the height, I'll tell you that much. They have highly acidic blood, so if you pierce their skin in any way, their blood is gonna start leaking everywhere and melting everything. So just like magic, we should probably avoid making this thing spill blood. So what am I gonna do? I can't burn this thing, I can't shoot it because of the ship, I can't blow it up. What do I have planned?
Foolish.
It's obvious. The only way to defeat this thing is to go back to its roots. You see, while they are aliens, xenomorphs are still similar to us in one way. They have a weak baby form. Granted, it's a very messed up and dangerous looking baby, but it's still a weaker form. They start off as face huggers. These little crab spider things that hug your face, and in order to evolve into the big dangerous version of themselves that I'm currently stuck on the ship with, these face huggers must impregnate? What the? One of my crewmates. And right here, during this weird process, is where I strike. If you know me, you know I'm not one to gamble. I cut my losses. You could call me a quitter. So the second I see one of my crewmates getting his face hugged by one of these things and potentially jeopardizing the safety of everyone else on board, I don't know. That looks like a loss I'm gonna have to cut. I'm sorry, it's the truth. That's the only way to win in this scenario and make sure no other lives are lost. I'm gonna look at my other crewmates and pull a, I don't think he's gonna make it, guys. We gonna have to put him down and proceed to eject him and that ugly baby out the airlock. And I already know some of y'all about to say this method was inhumane. And you're right, it wasn't humane. What you gonna do about it? We know who it is. One of the most popular villains in horror. You see his face at every Hot Topic and Spencer's. The killer doll, Charlie, Chucky. If you've been watching me for a while, you might already know I don't rock with dolls. And it all started with him. This dude had a chokehold on me my entire childhood. Like, I cannot stress this enough to you guys. This dude was my biggest fear. Anytime I would see this dude, he would have me sound like Courage the Cowardly Dog trying to speak. It was bad. Like, back then, my top 3 was Chucky, Heights, and Presentations. That was an immovable top 3. And it was like this for years and years and years. Then one day I woke up and I realized this little is a doll, a 2-foot doll. I've literally been taller than him since I was like 3. Yet he had this insane grasp on my mind for so long, had me waking up from Tsukuyomi type nightmares. To answer the question, of course I'm whooping him. He's not Annabelle or Brahms or any other demon possessed doll. He's literally just a ginger killer baby who cracks jokes every now and then and knows voodoo. Literally a kick, a punch, a slap, anything will work against this dude. Maybe if I was 7 years old again, he would win because I was a huge, that thing girls keep me between their legs. But now, if I can't beat this little dude, tell my mama to disown me. I'm serious. Honestly, I'm so convinced I'm winning this, they could bring the whole army of Chuckies from the show, add Tiffany, and matter of fact, throw in one of them crackheads from the projects too. At least that'll give them some sort of win con. The new Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Now this one's a little tricky.
Because first of all, you're not dealing with your average Joes anymore, okay? These are ghosts, spirits, demons, controlling animatronics. Second of all, the setting, terrifying. A pizza place, let alone a Chuck E. Cheese style pizza place? Yeah, they definitely got the edge in that regard. And on top of all of that, it's 4 killers, not just 1. So your awareness has to be on 1,000. Even though it hasn't come out yet, I'ma assume it's just like the game. And just like I said for Friday the 13th, while many people won't think they will survive, I will. I've watched plenty of Five Nights at Freddy's gameplay. I've watched all the game theory videos. All I'm missing is meeting the creator himself, Scott Coffin, and that can be arranged. Just hit me up. I know the animatronics better than they know themselves, honestly. Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, they're not doing nothing to me. I'm keeping them doors closed. And Foxy, what is Foxy gonna do?
Where's Foxy? Oh, there he is.
You know, horror games are something I always avoided as a kid. They were too scary. The ability to immerse yourself the way you do while playing a horror game is different. It's not the same thing as throwing on Friday the 13th or Goosebumps. When playing a horror game, you're actually in there. You can see, you can hear, you can interact, you're in control of the movement. Any more immersive and you just be a victim. But those days of peeing myself while playing the scary maze are over. I'm a man now. And now, I ain't scared of no purple dude, no hillbillies, and especially not no grandma. Today, ladies and gentlemen, same way we did for the horror and the action movies, we're gonna be going over horror games I could easily survive. And I'll be giving you guys my strategy, my game plan, my thought process, and of course, some of the ones that I can't. Imagine you witness your next door neighbor commit what looks like to be a murder. Or at least a kidnapping. And after witnessing this, you, the main character, decide to go investigate his super elaborate home yourself. But while you're in there, you have to constantly avoid this man capturing you, or you might be the next victim. Well, that's the plot of Hello Neighbor, a potentially murderous, kidnapping, middle-aged man. I didn't learn about this game through conventional means since I was a bit too old for it at the time, but I did see my little cousin who was obsessed with it play it. And while it is an extremely scary concept on paper, you a kid investigating the super complex home of a potential criminal who may or may not murk you when he catches you, that's scary stuff. But don't let it fool you. This game is light. I actually have one very easy solution for this. One that can be done at the very beginning of the game. How about you just mind your business? I know, crazy to think that you could just do that. But it's true. All this started because us, the main character, felt this intrinsic urge to become Sherlock Holmes after witnessing something a little sus. Like just turn around and look the other way, my boy. Look, I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood when I was younger. And even back then, I knew if I seen something like an old man getting jumped, all I could do is shut my mouth, keep it stepping, and pray for Gramps. It sounds messed up, but I'm sorry, it's the truth. But if y'all do want to go the good civilian route, all the kid really had to do was call the authorities. You don't even need no evidence or nothing. Just tell the cops your neighbor's a minority and you heard a white woman screaming in the house. They're gonna be there in 2 minutes, bust that door wide open, and shoot first and ask questions later. Problem solved. I'm starting with a bit of a tricky one. Outlast. We play as this journalist investigating an abandoned asylum after hearing word of some inhumane experiments happening there. Why would you go there? And upon arriving there, it was worse than we could have imagined. These experiments caused these patients to become variants, pretty much these mutated, violent monster things. And after realizing how dangerous this probably is, you try to find a way out the asylum. Boom, that's the setup we're dealing with. Now this one is a very difficult one to start off with. I was 11 when this game came out, and all I remember is I refused to play it because it was so scary. I knew it was bad when I couldn't even watch the Rad Brad play it. Not only are we trapped in a loony bin that's dark, has small corridors, and probably smells crazy, but we also have to deal with the variants. And while most of them are just crazy humans with no pain tolerance, there is one we really gotta look out for. Chris Walker, a mutated 6'9", 300-pound plus monster. To put it in perspective, that means we're dealing with someone the same height as LeBron James and around, I don't know, half the weight of Rod Wave. This is a scary, formidable opponent, and might I add, he has experience. This dude isn't like Springtrap just murking children for no reason. This dude murks grown men for no reason. He has bodies. And me, I'm just an investigative journalist with nothing but passion, a Canon camera, and a pair of AA batteries. What am I gonna do? And I sat on this one for a long time. I'm probably getting cooked, I won't lie. This one just ain't even fair, bruh. In the wise words of Kendrick, it ain't 20v1, it's a 1v20. It's just me by myself versus all these variants in this dirty, rundown asylum. Remove Chris Walker from the situation and I might die 30 minutes in. If I step in there, I'm literally finished. Like, yeah, I know I'm the fastest to ever do it. Ka-chow. But a crammed space like this is not good for me. If it was me that got the anonymous tip about the experiments they were doing here, I wouldn't have even showed up. A lot of y'all probably already know this game, but if you don't, there's a horror game where you, the main character, are investigating a shut down toy factory after the disappearance of a bunch of employees 10 years ago. And while in there, you discover you're not alone. There are these things, these entities, these toy monsters that come after you while you're trying to figure it all out. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm probably not surviving. Not only are these things going after you, all bloodthirsty toy monsters, but all of them are clearly on something. I can see it in their eyes. Huggy Wuggy got them dilated pupils, probably on some LSD or blue crystal or something. Poppy's obviously coked out. Look at those blood vessels. And Mommy Longlegs, she might be off the same thing as Poppy. Either that or she has some severe BPD. And I mean severe, because the way her mood switches from Mommy was just playing, come back. Okay, joke's over. Mommy doesn't like cheaters. Come back over here. Get your ass up! Combo that with the prototype running around doing, I don't know what. And in the third game, which I haven't played yet, they introduced hella new monsters, including a freaking cat. Not only did they get me already with my fear of dolls, but now they're using my allergies against me. Yeah, I'm finished. Now, while this one may look like a simple indie horror game, no joke, it's actually one of the scariest ones you could play. The whole time you're paranoid, on edge, and just waiting for something to happen. If this is how girls feel while walking alone at night, I am so sorry, I'll cross the street next time. There's a Japanese horror game where you play as a female barista working in a Starbucks type coffee shop, and I've never worked in the food industry before, but from what I hear, it's horrible. A horror game in and of itself. You have the clothing shift, obviously, and on top of having an annoying supervisor, as the nights go on, you start noticing some weird stuff going on around the shop. Strange noises, items missing, strange people coming in, strange people staring at you from outside, until you eventually realize you're being stalked. Stalker alert. We got a stalker on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Eventually coming face to face with them at the end. Boom, we got the lore. While this one may seem simple because it's just a regular human, no special abilities, at the most, maybe a knife, it's not. There are two things in this game that could cause me some trouble. One is, the girl we're playing as is clearly not in the best financial situations. She's B to the R to the O to the K to the E, a college student. That affects the first plan I had, which was to just quit your job. We quite literally can't afford to do that. I know how it feels to be living off mayo sandwiches and instant ramen, and I'm not putting this girl through that. So the next immediate counter I thought of was, just tell your supervisor you want to switch shifts. You don't lose your job, you keep that bread coming in, and you stay away from all the creepy activities. That could work, that could work. If I knew how to speak Japanese, how would I even communicate? How? There's no subtitles in real life. Drawings, ASL, Morse code. How did I even get this job? Only things I know how to say in Japanese are what, stop, and domain expansion. So communication wise, I'm cooked. Can't even call the cops. Meaning my only choice for the situation is to defend myself. So here's the plan. We know the dude stalking us is seriously obsessed with us, judging by those notes he be leaving and the pictures he be taking. And as creepy as that may be, it could be used to our advantage. It'll seem like a regular shift. I'll be whipping up some coffee, some lattes, when in the corner of my eye, I'll see the stalker watching me through the glass. He'll probably be imagining doing some heinous things to me. I don't know. I don't stalk people often. But he won't know that I have him right where I want him. As he's staring at me through the glass, he'll notice in the corner of his eye a coffee I left on the table. And this wasn't no ordinary coffee. This was a coffee with my lipstick on it. He's a creep, so he immediately wouldn't be able to resist adding this precious item to his precious collection. So he walks into the shop swiftly, trying to get the cup before I can even notice while I'm dealing with some customers. But like I said earlier, I got him right where I want him. Before he could take another step, he hears it. Yamero! Yoichi Tenkai. Mugen no Guroku. We all know the franchise, Resident Evil, recognizable because of its elite games and its movies. The Resident Evil games have always been known for being scary. Like, I remember trying to play Resident Evil 4 on my PS2 when I was but a wee little lad. And emphasis on trying, because I could not get through that game at all. Yeah, there's been some scary Resident Evil games over the years, but Resident Evil 7, this one is hands down the scariest. I said put your hand down. In this one we play as this guy named Ethan who ventures onto a plantation in the state of Louisiana after we received a message from our wife who had been missing for 3 years. And after entering a house on the plantation, we find our wife, but she tells us that message was not from her. And after realizing our wife is now some sort of infected zombie thing and a failed escape, we come face to face with the Baker family. A regular Louisiana family turned murderous and cannibalistic after being infected. And the infection didn't just turn them violent, it also turned them into mutants, giving them super strength, the ability to regenerate, extra intelligence, and some, their very own transformation. Is that a sack? And after seeing how truly insane they are, we have to run, fight, and find a way off the plantation. Look, I'm gonna start with this. Plantation and Louisiana in the same sentence would have been enough for me to not go over there. Combo that with the Baker family trying to eat me or make me part of their family or whatever, and I'm definitely good off that. And some of you guys might be like, but Derek, you gotta save your wife. What about your wife? What about her? Come on, buddy. It's been 3 years, bruh. It's time for me to move on and get on one of them dating sites. Is Tinder still a thing? Honestly, even if it was a month of her being gone instead of 3 years, I wouldn't go. She told me herself, do not come get her. And as the respectful husband that I am, if the missus tells me to not go get her, I ain't going. Because if I did, that's called stepping over her boundaries, fellas. Take notes, take notes. But let's say I did go. I did go to the creepy plantation mansion. What would happen then? Well, I would immediately die. Because the second we do find our wife, she turns on us because she's infected or whatever and chops off our hand. This is ridiculous. Really? 3 years of marriage and I come save you and this is how you repay me? I took you to Cheesecake Factory. And I know we get our hand stitched back on, but the mental damage is already done. Plus, I don't know how much of that green juice is really gonna help with the broken ribs she gave me earlier after throwing me into that wall. Resident Evil 7, I'm not surviving, sadly. Farthest I get is that fight with that sack lady. After that, I'm finished. For those of you who don't know this one, Fears to Fathom is a psychological horror game series where us, the main character, play through super duper scary and realistic scenarios. Isolation, home invasion, some stalking. On occasion. Chill, don't hype me out, don't hype me out. And while it sounds like it's whatevs on paper, the atmosphere of these games will change your mind fast. And not only is the atmosphere scary, but even the NPCs are scary. Like these dudes are chopped. And to make things even scarier, every episode of this game is based on a real life event. Like y'all know how the movies be having based on a true story in the beginning or end? Yeah, that's this game. Based on a true story. Every single one of them. There's a lot of episodes to pick from in this one, so I'm gonna just go with the one that's scariest to me. Fears to Fathom, episode 3. Carson House. In this one we play as this 18-year-old named Noah back in 2009. Golly, 2009? Some of y'all didn't even exist. We were tasked to look after someone's crib for a weekend for a whopping $100. You know, doing some grocery shopping, fixing the computer, taking a piss, feeding the dog. Still taking a piss? Dang, bro. But as the night goes on, weirder and weirder stuff starts happening. Random knocks on the door, strange text messages, random noises in the house, and that's when it's revealed that someone has broken into the house. We got an intruder on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is something everyone who has ever been home alone has feared. A random person breaking into your crib at a random given time, scariest being nighttime, and you being forced to 1v1 them. It's a scary thought, but it ain't nothing I can handle. To truly come up with a proper plan to beat this one, I gotta understand 2 things. 1, who is the intruder? And 2, what do they want? Throughout the course of the game, we get little hints of who it may be via text messages, flowers at our door, and other stuff. But once we get into the end game, that's when it's revealed that the home intruder is actually our psycho ex-girlfriend, Kara. I know, shocking. And what does she want, you may ask? Well, of course, to get back with your boy. I don't blame her, not a surprise. But now that we know all the background, here's the plan. Since I'm more familiar with the Carson crib than she is, I say we use this to our advantage and do a little bit of camping, if you will. Imagine this. She walks into the crib, roaming the bottom floor looking for me. Noah, oh Noah. I'm watching her on the camera as she finishes searching the bottom floor. She makes her way upstairs and approaches the room I'm in. Noah, I know you're in there. Open up, Noah, before I... Hey, Kara? Huh? I think we should get back together. Really? Yeah, really. Here, I'll unlock the door. Come inside. Let's talk about it. All right. I just can't believe you really changed your mind that... That's an easy win. Only thing we really gotta look out for with her is her durability, cause turns out the reason we broke up with Kara is cause Kara be on that meth. So I don't really know if one swing of the bat will do the trick. We might have to do 4 or 5 or maybe even 12 depending on her dosage. Don't do meth. Now this one may look all innocent and sweet, but hear me out. Amanda the Adventurer is about this old children's show revolving this girl named Amanda and her sidekick Willie. So think Dora, but instead of being Mexican, she's black, and instead of Boots being a monkey, he's a lame sheep. We find these VHS tapes of the show and watch a few episodes, and everything seems normal. But as we continue watching them, they start to get stranger and stranger until Amanda is straight up talking about death and threatening to turn Willie into lamb chops. And if we upset Amanda, that violence will be turned against us too. So we're dealing with some cursed tapes, ladies and gentlemen. It's sort of like The Ring. And just like The Ring, I know the perfect solution. Maybe Stop watching the tapes when stuff gets weird. Really though, how many times do you guys see Amanda intimidate Willie with her evil stares, or have her genuinely tweaking out when you get an answer wrong before you decide, yeah, maybe leave the mystery solving to the detectives? I couldn't even watch Danger Dolan for too long before getting scared, so I know from experience that creepy video stuff ain't my jam. But let's just say for funsies, I watched every tape. And we all know I'm not solving the mystery, so the tall, lanky monster version of Amanda comes after me. What then? Well, judging by the physique of this thing, it doesn't look like it will be that tough to combat. Yeah, it is rocking them British veneers and some gnarly acrylics, but that pelvic bone is giving off a lot of malnourished energy. I don't know what it is. I got it weighing at most $180. And yeah, I know it's fast and all, but with them flimsy joints, all I gotta do is hit him with a little right to the knee, and bada boom, bada bing. That's a win for me. Now this one may seem insanely difficult, but like I said for the last one, just hear me out. In Silent Hill 2, we followed this blonde dude named James, who after receiving a letter from his deceased wife, damn, we got a lot of X's in this video, what's going on? He goes to Silent Hill, this town engulfed in fog with monsters everywhere, creepy buildings, and blah, 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 blah. I know what y'all are here for. Y'all wanna know if I can defeat the big bad in this one. Pyramid Head. Dude with a massive pyramid on his head, holding a big sword. Super scary looking dude. Like when I saw the 06 movie, which in my opinion is alright, it's not that bad. The sound of that siren and the image of Pyramid Head were burned into my mind. But now after looking back and after playing the original Silent Hill 2, this dude is not on anything. He's like those muscle heads who don't know how to fight. Just all appearance, no skill. Like, look at this gameplay. Come on, bro, you gotta keep it a buck. Is this scary to you? He can have all the menacing energy in the world, but the second he swings, he loses all of it. I could easily run away or even walk away with a dude swinging like this, but let's say it is the movie version of him, or the remake version. I haven't played it yet, but I assume he has better hands in this one. What are my chances then? Well, 100%. Because the thing about Pyramid Head is, he's not even real. He's a figment of James's imagination after feeling all that guilt for killing his wife. And if I'm in control of James's body in this situation, I don't have a shred of guilt. It wasn't my wife that got killed, so I won't be manifesting or whatever any of these monsters, this creepy environment, and most importantly, I won't be manifesting Pyramid Head. It's that easy. Come on now. Come on now. Now, if he was real, no introduction needed. We all know the name. Some of y'all may know I faced these guys before when I did the horror movie version of this video. And let's just say I bodied them. But that was the movie, which is way easier than the game. When it comes to the game, before you can even think of coming up with a plan, you gotta ask yourself, which game am I talking about? FNAF 1, 2, 3, Help Wanted, or Help Wanted 2? Or maybe Sister Location, or FNAF 4, or FNAF 4 Halloween Edition, or Security Breach. All these games have different locations with different enemies you gotta deal with. Some have 4 animatronics, some have 1, some have 50. It's ridiculous. But if we're to go down the list, FNAF 1, I think I can handle it. I may not have worked in the food industry, but I have worked security. And when you have experience like I do, the answer for this one is simple. There is no way I am working a minute on that payroll they got you on. $120? Really? I thought this was a pizzeria. I didn't know I was working at Shein. $120 nowadays can maybe get you a pie of Domino's and a scoop of ice cream. I'm good off that. So the way I'm beating FNAF 1, I'm just not going to work. Maybe I'll go the first night, secure a cool 20 bucks for the 8-hour shift, but after that, I'm good. FNAF 2, they pay even lower, but it's so easy, it's practically free money to me, so I'm doing it. And this one we deal with almost triple the amount of animatronics as the first one, and instead of the classic setup, we got 2 vents and 1 big vent right in front of us, which may look intimidating at first because it's so open and accessible. It's not. Because the second you throw that mask on, these animatronics don't beat on nothing. They got this whole facial recognition mumbo jumbo that doesn't let them see that I'm a security guard, which honestly makes no sense. I know damn well they can still see my ass in my security uniform gripping onto my chair for dear life. But hey, if it works, it works. And the other 2 that can bypass the mask, all you gotta do is use the flashlight and just wind the music box on the camera. It's easy. If I just don't take off that mask, constantly hold the flashlight, and keep checking the cameras, I'm gonna be Gucci Kabuchi. But that's the first 2 games, which to me are the easier ones. But FNAF 3 though, this one is more difficult and completely different than the other 2. Instead of facing multiple animatronics, which may seem harder, I'm gonna be faced head to head with the main man himself, Springtrap. He's a cold, calculated serial killer in a gold bunny suit. And he's also the creator of the animatronics, or co-creator. The point is, the dude is smart. And it's just me and him in his rinky-dinky amusement park. What am I gonna do? And a lot of y'all FNAF fans may not like this answer, but I'm whooping him too. Look, I'm a fan too, but this dude's kill-death ratio is almost entirely made up of kids. And like I said in the intro, I am a grown man now, standing at a tall 5'9". I'm cooking him. Springtrap is going to catch the work. He's gonna wish those spring locks got him before. Oh, but he has a metal suit, so if you punch him, it's gonna hurt. Who said anything about punching him? I got the chair I'm sitting on, the fan right in front of me. There's quite literally a guitar right there. If Springtrap walks in, I will not hesitate to smack him upside the head with it. He's just Michael Myers if he was a fairy. And y'all know what I did to him? Realistically, only FNAF games I'm struggling with are Five Nights at Freddy's 4, Ultimate Custom Night, and Sister Location. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 because you play as a paranoid kid and look at these things. Ultimate Custom Night because... what is even happening? And Sister Location, bro, baby is 7'2". I am not dealing with that. And as for Security Breach, Ruin, and Help Wanted, I can't say for certain. I haven't played those yet, but I'm sure I'm bodying those too. And moral of the story? Get your ass over here!